Let's get more on Saturday's federal election result and bring in Nationals leader Barnaby Joyce. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. How are you, Lisa?
I am good, Mr. Joyce, but we've been talking about your leadership and I'm wondering how confident you are in it at the moment that you're going to stay in the job.
Well, look, I've never argued against the democratic process. I accept that. I'm very confident about the democratic process being the best way to determine which way a party goes, and I accept that. I accept the outcome of it. But we did win every seat we stood in with 3 retirees. We did actually pick up another Senate seat. Our party room will actually be bigger after the 1st of July than it was before. And we were within striking distance, very close striking distance of 2 other seats, Hunter and Lingiari, which is still probably in the undecided column. So this was a very, against the tide where the Liberals lost 19 seats. This was a very good outcome. Now, at this point in time, I haven't heard of anybody publicly on the record saying they want to stand, but I accept that absolutely if they do. That's the right. That's how the party works.
Have members of your own party told you that you were a drag on the vote?
No.
So no members of your party have suggested to you that you did not help the cause of the coalition?
No members of the party have come to me and said that, no. That's the answer.
Do you think you cost the Liberals seats?
No, I think the reason they haven't is because that's an absurdity. That'd be like saying Tim Wilson was a drag on the vote in central Queensland. People are not that stupid. I'm sure your listeners aren't. They know whether they're voting for a Nationals candidate or a Liberals candidate. It's as clear as that.
Do you ever remember
I think there are a lot of other issues at play, especially within the Liberal Party, especially in New South Wales.
Yeah, but in North Sydney, for example, the advertising was from the Labor Party that a vote for Trent Zimmerman was a vote for Barnaby Joyce. Can you ever remember a time when a National Party leader was used as a weapon to convince people not to vote for Liberals?
Well, people were quite happy to go forward with the Nationals winning our seat. My job is to run the National Party, not to run the Liberal Party. I'm not responsible.
Yeah, but it's a coalition, Barnaby Joyce. Were you a drag on the coalition?
I'm not responsible for the Liberal Party. The Nationals, in every seat we stood in, we won. Right? Every seat that we had a member in, even retiring members, we won. And we picked up another Senate seat, and we were within striking distance of 2 other seats. So, I mean, the Nationals campaign was quite evidently a success, and I can't speak for the Liberals campaign. That's up to them.
Well, Darren Chester this morning on Radio National has said that there were swings against the Nationals.
And there were swings to the Nationals as well.
Well, you're painting a much rosier picture, so...
Well, you can't get much rosier than you held every seat, picked up a senator, got within striking distance of 2 other seats. Is the brand as
strong as it has been in the past? Because that's another comment from Darren Chester this morning.
Well, self-evidently it is, isn't it?
OK, so no change from Barnaby Joyce.
Well, if you changed and lost seats, would that make people happier? Would that be a better outcome for our party?
Why have you raised the prospect of not supporting net zero?
Well, no, that's people twisting words.
OK, well, clarify it for us this morning.
Well, don't talk over the top of me, please. Quite obviously, the Nationals party room has the capacity to talk about whatever issue they want. Doesn't mean they're changing it. But we don't go to a party room meeting and saying this won't be discussed or that won't be discussed. That's completely the right of the party room, like in any party room, in any party, I presume. But
you left it open yesterday in your language that it was up for discussion. Given that it was agreed in November in the party room to support net zero, why do you even revisit the prospect of it?
Well, I've said it's my intent to stick to our deal. But if other people want to discuss it, that's their right. My intent is to stick to the deal that I made.
So the agreement from November in the party room doesn't necessarily mean that it's locked in. The party room can change the view.
We're going around in circles, aren't we? In the party room, people can discuss whatever they like. My intent is to stick to the deal that I negotiated. That's how it works. Now, obviously, the Labor Party are coming forward now with a different proposition to the Parliament, and I imagine people want to discuss that. I don't see anything remarkable about that.
Senior Liberals have also suggested that maybe the party, the coalition, needs to adopt even tougher climate action. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's a discussion for the Liberal Party, isn't it?
If you're part of the coalition, though, it does affect you.
Well, we're not. At this point in time, and even their suggestion, we're not. Once the election is over, you go back to 2 separate parties and you negotiate a coalition.
is the prospect that you could suggest that there is a split in the coalition? I know you've been asked this before.
I'd prefer there wasn't, but at this point in time, there is not a coalition that would be negotiated. It's one of the big jobs ahead of us, to negotiate the coalition, negotiate ministries, negotiate sort of the guardrails of policy, negotiate resources. This is the big task that's imminently before us. And, that's what I'll be focused on, to make sure the Nationals get the best deal they possibly can.
And do you think the Nationals deserve more, given what you've said is, a very successful campaign?
Well, obviously, we are a greater proportion, but if there was a coalition, if there is a coalition, we're a greater proportion of that coalition. So that's also beyond dispute.
So more front bench positions?
Well, you're asking an obvious question. Mathematically, yes.
OK, well, it's just good to have the answers on the record. That's why we ask the questions. Hey, can I ask you about Mark McGowan's comments suggesting that Peter Dutton is an extremist, not that smart and not the right fit for modern Australia? What do you make of those comments?
Yeah, well, that's Premier McGowan's position. I disagree. I think it's rather a barb, isn't it? I mean, and of course, if that's a barb he wants to fire, then he can. Premier McGowan, who was born in Newcastle, Premier of Western Australia, can say whatever he likes. Do
you think Peter Dutton is the right man to win back voters to the coalition?
I'm going to leave that entirely to the Liberal Party, because that's their job. They're their own party. The Nationals are our own party. We won every seat and a Senate seat, and within striking distance of 2 other seats. We've done exceptionally well against the Tide, where the Liberals unfortunately lost 19 seats. And, I hope that we can build on that strength and take it the next step in the future with 2 seats within striking distance.
So Michael McCormack's wrong when he says the coalition would have done better under him?
That's a question that you can take up with Michael.
Well, he did say it. I'm asking you. Do you think he's wrong?
It's a hypothetical. I don't think we could do any better than what we did. I mean, honestly, when people keep on suggesting... I mean, if we lost seats, would that be a better outcome?
Barnaby Joyce, I'm just putting to you what other people are suggesting. You're heading into a week where you might face a leadership challenge. Want to get your views about it?
That's entirely up to the party room. I accept that.
All right. Barnaby Joyce, thanks for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.